Mark was able to build this in a cave! With a box of scraps!
I'll be explaining my thoughts as spoiler-free as I can for this video. I only saw it once, but I'm going to go see it again next week, so expect a more in-depth analysis of the themes in the future. Get it? Because he's going deeper into the blood ocean? I'll stop. I saw Iron Lung 2 days ago and I still can't stop thinking about it. To the point where now you have to hear me yap about it. Although I doubt anyone is watching this right now. I don't think I've ever walked out of a film feeling the way I do now. And I mean it. I left the theater feeling I felt inspired and hopeful and completely changed. And before anybody writes in the comments, Markiplier's least brainwashed follower, I don't even watch his videos that much anymore. I did grow up seeing his stuff when I was young, and I do occasionally watch his Let's Plays while I'm doing art, but I'm not as big of a fan as I used to be, and I wasn't even that into his Edge of Sleep TV show on Amazon when I watched it. But this was different. This was very different. This was everything I think I've ever wanted from a movie, and yet some people leave it feeling bored? I'm sorry, did we watched the same movie? I've been sitting in my room going over everything in my head again and again, and instead of starting to see flaws or breaking down my initial excitement for a movie like I usually do for overhyped media, I just got more excited and kept circling back to the thought of, how could anyone find this boring? And I think I know. And the realization almost scares me or upsets me, and I hope I'm wrong. Our generation has lost its attention span, and it's lost its media literacy. Since COVID, it feels like way more movies and entertainment has been steadily changing. People are making movies and shows with more hand-holding and instant gratification, keeping exciting things on screen all the time to satisfy our Subway surfers' rotted brains. Slow moments have been becoming less and less common, and it feels like more and more things have to be explained to us through song or character monologues. Mind you, I'm not saying these kinds of movies are bad. K-pop Demon Hunters was another newer movie that I absolutely adored, and it was non-stop entertainment. Characters were always doing something. There was never a moment someone was left to feel quote-unquote bored, because they always had something easily enjoyable to latch onto. But that's the problem. It was easy to enjoy. Most things nowadays feel like it's made so you could turn your brain off and just watch for fun, and then maybe later put all the thought into the actual movie and consider deeper meaning or themes. It is because of that it's like we need a pacifier of moving colors and excitement to latch onto, pay any attention, or get any enjoyment out of it. Iron Lung wasn't like that, and I understand if some people didn't enjoy it or don't enjoy slower media, but calling it boring is a weird description for me, or mid, or bad, because I don't think that's it at all. It was slow and thoughtful, it was intentional with its build-up and payoff. For me, I was never bored because a few very smart decisions. Small spoiler here. By not telling the character anything about the Iron Lung and making him explore its functions on its own, it made it feel like we were exploring it with him. For me, it felt like every time I started to think we'd be in a new status quo, I was given something new and interesting to latch onto, like the discovery of the supplies. I was wondering how he'd use them to work his way out, because they'd managed to establish this character as an intelligent and resourceful character already. Or when he found the crawl space, I was wondering how that would come back up in the film, and anxious wondering if something was in the darkness with him. And then later in the movie, every single thing from those moments ended up paying off or coming back in a major way. A lot of movies I've seen before don't make me think like that. Like I'm the one there instead of the character trying to understand my situation. And then with the payoff at the end, leave me thinking about it further and connecting the dots in my mind, like I'd been giving a beautiful puzzle piece with satisfying and fascinating implications and conclusions and theories ways to work around. Some people are wishing they were quicker with pacing or removed scenes to make it more compact and interesting. I completely disagree. I think this movie was perfectly amazing and exactly what it needed to be. They set us all comfy in a chair and let us slide down a slight incline that increased slowly as the ride went on, letting us watch the horror crawl towards us without an escape. It was like an anaconda was around our chest, slowly and comfortably squeezing you. No rush, no need to jump you to make you enjoy. They just knew that they would take your breath away. It felt like this movie courted me proper, invited me to a lovely dinner, took the time to get to know me and meet my parents for showing me the best night of my life. And it scares me that so many people watched this movie and walked away bored. Maybe not scared, maybe more disappointed, but I think we need more movies like this. Movies that let us sit and think and increase tension in a way that leaves you breathless and pondering for days. But if we continue to lose to instant gratification train of modern entertainment, these kinds of movies will go extinct, which hurts since this is my favorite kind of film. Again, not to say I don't like the other kinds of movies. I adore a brainless monster fight as much as anyone else, and I don't want to lose those either. But I hope Mark and his team continue to make movies that have this eerie, unsettling tension to them. I hope they continue to have this amazing creative thoughtfulness that I've seen in them before when they made Damien. Pieces that aren't just exciting slasher films with jump scares and crazy moments, but stuff that leaves you just absolutely awestruck. And this is everything I've said without getting into the actual story and cosmic horror themes, which, gosh dang it, they are just so good and might be my favorite representation of cosmic horror I've ever seen. I do admit I might have a slight bias towards it because this is my bread and butter. I adore some good cosmic horror with some solid setup, and the spooky themes and the cinematography, it just led into it so beautifully. Or going into detail how clever the main character was shown to be without explaining stuff in detail. It reminded me a lot of Searching for a World That Doesn't Exist level moves. But like I said, I'll get into those another day because I love this movie so much. Mark, if you ever see this, I hope you know that you've inspired me so much. Seeing someone work from the ground up to make something I've always dreamed of making just makes me realize there's always a way and you shouldn't give up. I was having a pretty rough week before seeing this movie, heck, a pretty rough few months, and it's hard being a creative person in the modern age. The industry is so saturated already, and now AI is taking over spaces for artists and creatives and poisoning our feeds to the point it feels like you have to climb more than a mountain now. You have to climb a mountain filled with landmines and brick walls and other people trying to push you down. And then this, a beautiful, self-funded, amazingly written film, completely original from its inspiration being an indie game to its creation having no input from executive studios. Just an amazing passion project from start to finish. I adored every second of it, and if I had the disposable income, would see it in the movie theater over and over again. And I don't think I will ever have the feeling I had in that theater ever again. I felt like Kirito and SAO abridged after eating that rabbit. Everything I watch moving forward will feel bland by comparison. Thank you all for listening to my thoughts so far. I know I'm a nobody YouTuber or indie animator that nobody's probably seen or heard about, and I don't think many eyes will come on this video at all, but I just had to get my thoughts out there. If you did like the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe. I'm trying to be more efficient about uploading. I would love to make this something I could do a career, but if you aren't into that, that's totally fine too. Do comment if you have any movie recommendations that have this vibe of the slow pace and the eldritch horror themes, because it was so good and I would love to watch more films like this. I just haven't had something scratch the itch like this movie did. And once again, thank you all so much for watching, for coming this far, and I hope you all have a lovely evening. Peace out.